the words from the captain and in-game leader of Flipside, of course. Blade there made some fairly good points. Let's check him up with our panel members once more. Yanko and Nato are back with us. Yanko made some fairly standard points in there. I think nothing we didn't already know. I think the only key thing here is that Automatic has now had that 6 months with the team. So, presumably, sorry, Electronics. Always get confused with those two. So presumably that excuse is no longer there. If that was an excuse, of course, because he said they quite rightly did well then at DreamHack Leipzig, which wasn't that far away from E-League at the time. So they've kind of had a lot of time to work on it. We haven't seen them play too many leagues. He made the point that they didn't want to go in for little leagues, I think, or small leagues. Yeah, so they've got to deliver now.
Yeah, definitely. They want to focus more on preparation, integrating Electronic fully into the lineup, you know, kind of getting rid of those communication issues and maybe some misunderstandings that would have been there before. But it goes both ways. Sometimes it's just good to have official games, even if it's a league, you know, even if you don't expect to win it, perhaps, if you want to use it just to test stuff. Sometimes it might be a good idea just to throw in some official games to see where you're at, because if it's a long time since you played an official game and you've been trying out new stuff, sure, in practice you maybe have a picture of, you know, what works best for you, but it's always different in a competitive environment.
We heard him yesterday as well in the interview saying that it wasn't the best yesterday. They were a bit messy in places, they're a bit rusty, there was some nerves even creeping in, which you don't normally associate with a team as experienced as this, with the kind of people they've got, but they were nervous yesterday because they were bouncing back to land. So presumably that's all done, the cobwebs are brushed off now, and today they come out fighting.
They do, and an interesting battle for them as well, considering it's a kind of a clash of different styles as well, an approach to the game. Flipside are a very tactical, methodical team, and then you have HR who are very upfront, you could say, aggressive kind of a style, in your face style. Yes. So that is an interesting kind of a matchup in that sense as well. And these teams did meet up. The last time they met up online was actually a major qualifier last year for the Cologne major in a deciding game. Yep. Flipside came out on top of that one. So yeah, it's been since then that they've actually been met in a really, really important match.
And that feeling might just be festering for HellRaisers. They finally get a chance now, 6 months later, to come and get some revenge. Let's talk about HellRaisers. It's been an interesting little road already for them, because they seem to have been grouped with their brethren from the same region, as it were. I know that, you know, a couple of Slovaks and Hungarian in there, but they are considered to be that kind of Eastern European CIS kind of region team. And here they are, having played Vega. They've now got to play Flipside. Do you think that's good for them or bad for them?
I mean, they know each other from a long, long period of time, obviously, in a bonding, having played in Flipside, for example. So there's a lot of history between these players in that sense. Probably easier for them to playing, even if Flipside hasn't really been present in the recent times compared to someone like Vega, who has a lot of unknown, played very aggressive. And we saw HR actually kind of be in a bit of a trouble when they had to play against a very aggressive opponent. They weren't really comfortable looking when they were playing in that kind of situation where they had to slow their pace down or kind of adjust on the fly into the situation. So yeah, I guess it's a bit more comfortable when they know they don't jump into so much unknown. And now they've seen the way Flipside played in the previous game yesterday, that, you know, you can't really reinvent the wheel. There's a certain manner, a certain kind of a way that your team is going to play under a certain leadership, and that still applies for Flipside.
Yeah, and HellRaisers yesterday, you think back, you look at it on paper and you go, well, a 16-10 win over Vega seems about right. But actually, it's not the story of the game at all. They were awful in the first half. Credit to Vega, obviously, but they were torn apart. They were slowed down. They were confused. They were frustrated. They couldn't seem to do anything they wanted to do in that first half. And in a way, Flipside have got to do the same thing to them today.
Yeah, it's true. They were struggling a little bit on that T side, but then when they switched to the CT side, it looked flawless. Yeah. Right? Didn't concede a single round. So I think to an extent, what is true for Flipside might be true for HellRaisers. Didn't play a LAN in a, long time. It was DreamHack Tour, I believe, was their last showing, and this obviously is a lot more important tournament. You have more pressure on yourself, and playing against another domestic opponent in Vegas, to an extent, of course, might have as well been, you know, maybe not wanting to overextend, maybe giving them a little bit too much respect. And those domestic matchups, to an extent, can always be troublesome.
These two, would it be fair to say, could be both at the major still?
I think so. Regardless of what happens here, I think both teams would still have a chance moving forward. Flipside in that game yesterday against Renegades, it was very, very messy from their side of things, and still they managed to eke out a win. HellRaisers, as you already mentioned, that first half shaky, but in the end a pretty comfortable win for them. This game is going to be important because both teams, there are more difficult opponents they could have gotten right now. So if you get a win here and are up 2-0, it's going to be just one more, right, in 3 remaining chances.
Yeah, which you'd fancy your chances in every time, wouldn't you, as well? Going 2-0. So, we'll move into the map vetoes fairly shortly. In terms of maps, Natu, what are you expecting here?
Well, we can already see it on the screen, so
there you go.
It's going to be Overpass.
Just like that.
That was like magic happened. I mean, there's certain similarities these teams like on the maps. I'm not sure on Overpass. HR does play, but it's not something that's magnificent on their side.
I think actually it's the best map for them.
You do?
Yeah,
because
because
they've won 6 out of the last 7 they've played on it as
yeah,
well.
when we go back, I mean, to the previous major qualifier, that was the HellRaisers map, right? That's the map where they beat an NIP, the map on which they beat Cloud9 as well. It's one of those maps where HellRaisers even early on were able to beat like top tier teams and create upsets. So obviously from Flipside side of things, you know that coming into the game. So this could only be, if we leave Overpass in, definitely HellRaisers will go for it. So we're going to prepare a game plan specifically for this map. And sure, that's all fun and games, but I am not very comfortable with this decision because simply HellRaisers is so comfortable in this map. Like players individually as well, not just as a team, how good you are at breaking down the map and understanding how the map works. The players are going to feel super comfortable and they're going to probably have an easier time playing than on a different map, perhaps.
Yeah, it's very an interesting tactic, isn't it? Especially when you haven't played very much online or even against other teams on LAN, that you're quite confident that you can take a team on a good map like that.
Yeah.
What's the thinking behind it? Is it that you can think, well, they're not going to expect us to want to play it?
I don't know. It's a map where you need to have a really good rhythm on because it's a game of taking a lot of map control and then make a decision based on that. If you haven't played in a competitive environment for a while, it might take a little bit of while to really get that to kick in and get into the right gear.
Because it's like Janko says, like theory's great.
Yep.
But practice is totally different, and matches are totally different again.
They are always very different. Having had that experience myself, not played in a while in a tournament, but yeah, you go into practice and things might work out. But then teams are good at adapting, and they're not practicing their things in the practice game, so it becomes a totally different ballgame.
And also one thing is laying out a game plan and knowing which tactics you want to go for, perhaps. But another thing is individually, as I was saying, meaning that the player is more comfortable. That means probably communication is going to be much better on point. Players are going to have an easier time coming up with ideas on the fly, how to react. Flash me in here, let's go together. Here, let's try and make a move. And that's something that you really cannot anti-strat for, or you cannot prepare. That's something that you gain with playing the map a lot and simply being successful on it.
Key players for both sides. Let's pick out one to talk about. Janko, take HellRaisers. Bondic had a good game yesterday. They were saying that he used to be the carry. He used to help them across the line and had done in previous teams and when he'd played with them. Had a big game yesterday and another one today.
That would help, but for me it's actually Dead Fox here because with the AWP, especially if you're going to have a single opper most of the time, Overpass is a map where you can move him around a lot and put him in different positions to create an opening. It's going to be interesting to see if he will be able to do so against the Flipside team, which is known to be very methodical and careful in their defaults to prevent that from happening. So him having a good game could have a lot impact.
Okay, and that's it, Flipside?
Yeah, similar for Flipside. It's World Edit, really. He's the kind of guy that can, at his day, really be a difference maker. Very.
Anders?
Anders, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here. But yeah, World Edit definitely is the guy. He's the type of dude that unfortunately has his way too many off days, but when he's on his on day, things happen. The world really does get edited.
It does get completely edited. As you can see, the players in a huddle of their own right now, in a world of their own, some might say, as they get ready for their particular matchup. Let's say hello to our commentary team. They are waiting in the commentary booth right now. It is Dan and James. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the commentary booth. Are you on the Anders hype train? Because I saw earlier Lurpis put out a poll, which looked mildly rigged, I admit, but it went 100% as Markelov should start AWPing again.
I think it's more of an Anders fat train than hype train at this point, because I really think the normal train has come and gone, and Anders is definitely on this one.
And no one wants to get on that train.
Right. So basically, Anders is on the coal train just behind, just shoveling coal in, trying to keep up.
He's in a dark room.
Is
on
he?
a train on his own.
I heard he was in the bath right now. I don't know if that's true.
Let's not go there.
You could continue from there.
And on that note, you guys can get us into the game.
All right, yeah, it's an interesting one. Flipside and HellRaisers, obviously Flipside before they said, they've dropped out of everything. They have the full focus on this tournament. Overpass to me was always a map where they were always very prepared, and it always felt like it was a great map for Blade's tactical approach to really shine through. I mean, do you feel like that's going to give them an edge in this one?
Well, I mean, you and I have been fans of Blade since he was back in that team and had those awesome nuke strats, among other things. And, it was, I think his interview yesterday was very, very revealing in that he said, they asked him, why don't you're in like a 5 versus 3 or something, why don't you just go to the site together? He's like, yeah, I want to do that. But I'm like, okay, let's go in. And one person says, yeah, I'll fake B. It's like, you got to have control of your team, man. That's madness. And like he has, when you see him at big tournaments, he has pads, he has wads of paper. Hopefully they're not just, poems. But he's a strategist. He is somebody who, if his team will allow him, he can really put them in a position to win. So if people aren't paying attention, then they will defeat themselves, as we have seen in the past.
Yeah, it's a really weird one, isn't it? I mean, you just don't expect to have that kind of answer in an interview. I was quite puzzled.
That's matchmaking too. It's like everyone's like, okay, what do we do? Someone says, let's go A, and then someone's like, yeah, I'll fake B. No!
Well, we'll see what HellRaisers' call is. This was always an amazing map. I always recall just Angel having a beast of a game every time I saw him at Overpass. So really curious about this one. I think it's going to be a pretty even matchup between these two teams as we wait and see what HellRaisers decide to do as far as their choice on a bomb site is. And it looks as though they're going to be going in towards the sewers after making a lot of noise towards Connector. We have some utility here on Steeko. Azira will make his way through the monster tunnel, looking for the first engagements here, trying to split this defense, seeing what else he can get done. That's a nice entry from Zero there, turning his attention quickly to Markelov, but it was all a ruse, James.
Oh, it's a trap, man. He's been sold out. There were 4 people on the A bomb site, and now Flipside will be funneled back towards the A side. However, there will be 1 player on the flag. That is Markelov, but maybe he won't get there in time because Electronic's being taken down. Blade is stuck, and Angel, he's got more bullets than the USP. He is spamming for days. Manages to get his reload in, but he can't get the kill. Markelov still on the flank in his 3-on-3. Quickly made into a 3-on-2. Last 2 CTs coming in from the B bomb site area. Deadbox, range distraction, the flanks there from Steeko. Great stuff from HellRaisers. Well, that it has a lot to do. He has a kit, but really, it should be impossible for him. They don't need to all peek. They could go for a multi-peek, but they'll just kill time instead, and then Deadfox will get the last frag of the round. HellRaisers 1-0.
Yeah, really nice start to the round. I do actually like that they decided to send Zero alone towards B. Obviously, there's going to be spots where he gets nothing done there, but it's more or less just that I think in a pistol round, the CTs are very antsy, it's very easy to almost overreact and want to kind of over-rotate. So they kind of tried to use that against Flipside to get themselves on that A bomb site. Worked the tree, got the guaranteed bomb plant. Now we see the AKs are out. UMP there for Bondik and a Galil for Steeko. So not opting to go for too many SMGs here, which is quite interesting. And you would expect to see a round play out where they focus on the longer ranges in the map. So Toilers, the A long area, is usually where you would probably run an anti-force by anyway. So would imagine they'll try to finish the round there after they start to poke. Their initial poking and prodding is done, and they can figure out whether or not Flipside want to get aggressive early. And we can see Flipside's. I like their positioning around sewers actually. It does allow for fast rotation to Connector. But here it is. We'll have the Electron going for a peek. Actually gets 1, and there's a second as well. And the bomb. Okay, James. This has not gone too well here for HellRaisers. How can they save this one?
Can we just note that there was a flash perfectly through the window in case Electronic was getting pushed from the back as well. And it's a scary approach from HellRaisers through Connector, because often on a force buy from the CTs, you can have lots of people in Connector causing problems. And he got those kills on his own. So that was an unknown, which has been cleared up by HellRaisers. 45 seconds for them to correct these issues. And maybe what it will be the bait. Oh, Angel caught on a reload. Perfect timing from Blade.
And Seeker going in, can find himself 2, but the Galil is not going to be able to get him 2 kills. Zero will have to swing around and try to save it, but Waylander there with the pistol is going to be able to finish things off. What an upsetting situation that HellRaisers have found themselves in after that pistol victory.
Indeed, success was very brief. Now we question if Flipside can capitalize on these advantages. Famas is coming out. Waylander with the AK. Ding dong. Electronic ringing the bells above Connector. And to get 2 kills in that position on your own from Connector, again, so scary for HellRaisers to try and capitalize. But it's really nice to see that pop flash from Flipside just in case somebody was trying to push Electronic through Connector. That is great to see from them. A team who clearly don't always have the best coordination. Pop flashes from the CT side will yield them 3 kills. That's a great start to an anti-eco round or anti-force buy round.
Yeah, it is, and now it's pretty much a simple case of just find the last player. Blade will go ahead and do that, and 5 players will survive. An ideal situation for Flipside, and on the CT side too, it's just so nice to be able to get your economy off to a good start. Be able to pull the orbs out as soon as you want, and be able to do so when you have enough nades to back them up as well. And you also, I think, have a clearer picture of your opponent's economy, you know, what kind of buys they're going to go for when you're landing yourself in a situation like this early on. So I think that's ideal for a man like Blade to make the calls, but
man like Blade,
we'll see whether or not that will be the case, and whether HellRaisers have some tricks up their sleeves to try and get rid of this, all the money that's starting to accumulate on Flipside. I would imagine that this round will be fairly quick though. HellRaisers kind of splitting up, like almost as though it's like a gun round default here, but they only have Glocks and no armor, so hard times ahead.
Yeah, you might hope it's a quick one, but often Glock rounds tend to be painstakingly slow and don't really get very far. Glocks versus armor is not a cakewalk by any means. In fact, there's no cake in sight whatsoever. It's more dry and arid, like a biscuit or a cracker, perhaps.
Cake is a lie. Cake is a lie.
Nerd.
Ooh, okay. This would be really sick if Mono can get a knife here as well, and maybe steal the gun away, get some extra information, maybe get a follow-up kill here. And ooh, there it is!
In the back.
Gets himself the knife. That's also a pickup of a Famas in the back, and you can see that he's going to take down Blade there. And all of a sudden, Bondic has created issues. He's even got a smoke here to play off of if he really wants to use that. And the only issue is he has no Kevlar. So he has to get the first bullet connected. He won't do so. But to get 2 kills, one of which being a knife frag, that's beast. That's amazing work there.
That is far more than you could hope for on a Glock round to get a knife kill. How do you get a knife kill on a Glock round?
Oh, he just walked all the way up long, man. No one was looking at long.
What is the science behind that? That is absolutely bananas. A precision incision from Bondic. That is bonus money and then some. Awkward for the CT side because you see the possession of the balloon area for the Ts. The CTs have to face both ways. And with the Glock, from some ranges, he would have to shoot them in the head 3 times to kill them. I know, I've been there. I've been there. Anyway, both teams on the buy. Well did it on the AWP. More a Skadoodle-esque AWP than, say, a more aggressive style. He's one of the dependable ones. It was a stark difference back when Simple was on the team as well. Like night and day.
I've been enjoying Steeko's development as a player. I mean, we first took note of him back in when he kind of broke into FPL like a couple of years back. And we'll see some poking coming there on towards A long. The utility here is starting to run fairly low for HellRaisers, so they're finding themselves at a point in the round where they kind of have to go for it with the utility that they have, the positions that they have, and perhaps the entries as well. But some good counter utility utilized by Flipside will actually slow down the efforts of HellRaisers on their approach to that B-bomb site. So they're going to have to rethink this one. They still have 3 smokes left and 2 Molotovs. They didn't commit fully after Zero did get that pick off. And in this 4 versus 4, still a good chance for them to open up that A-bomb sites. Flipside have got fairly passive positions. The first man to worry about is going to be Electronic towards the toilets area. Another smoke from him. So 30 seconds remain, and will HellRaisers have enough time? That's the question.
Flipside, no one is pushing Monster at the moment, but I don't know if anybody's through Monster. Electronic just standing in the smoke. Blade left in the B bomb site. Well, there might be a rotation from the CTs. Absolute madness. Where does that kill come from? I have no idea. Oh, wasn't it? He's doing this job. Bomb cannot quite get planted right now. The time is running out. The numbers are in the red. 6 seconds. No choice but to go down fighting. 3 players surviving for Flipside is not bad on the first buy round for both teams. And Yanko spoke about the strength of Overpass for HellRaisers, but I have to say, at least in terms of support from teammate to teammate, Flipside have looked really coordinated. There've been lots of very quick pop flashes, or counter flashes, if you will, for respective teammates in various positions, which have yielded them results or information. So hopefully that will continue, and we'll have a nice map on our hands. For now, though, HellRaisers will be on the eco.
Yeah, and I think and that last round pays largely to the fact that Flipside are very good at sort of seeing what was happening for HellRaisers and just getting the utility down just in time to basically make it a pretty bad play for HellRaisers to commit. And then HellRaisers were like, well, plan A didn't work, plan B didn't work. What are we left with now? We'll see a quick rush in onto this B-bomb site. They're going to hope for some frags here at bomb plant as well. And I don't think they'll imagine to win the round, but we'll see what they can do. The chaos, the madness with the Tech-9s can always provide problems. The bomb will go down and some frags are coming into play. Electronic in from the back, though, with the MP9. Gets himself a couple nice frags there. A third one, in fact, as Angel will finally fall by the water. And that will be the defuse coming in for Flipside. A very nice retake. Those situations can get a bit out of hand, and it almost did. But a 5-1 will be the score as Flipside start to control the situation once again.
Bonus money, MP9 kills, throw it away afterwards, pick up an M4. Perfect for Electronic at the very least. 7 kills, as is the in-game leader Blade, also on 7, but Markelov, Lord Markelov, as far as Anders is concerned, is leading the charge with 8 kills. Nice. 5-1. Dead Fox now joins the AWP club.
And this aggressive setup here from Flipside could be quite interesting, as Markov is looking for a good moment to go in. Obviously, he can support his teammates. We've got, I believe, Electronic by the fountain, waiting very patiently. It's a nice angle that he's playing with there, but of course, he can be pushed. So you have to be really careful on how you operate this setup. There it is. Beautiful stuff from Electronic. Goes for a second as well. And that is the cue for Welded and Markelov to also make their move. And it will be fantastic. This aggression has essentially won the round, at least given Flipside Tactics a very strong chance to do so. A 5 versus 2. Obviously, they were having some trouble closing rounds down with big advantages on the men just yesterday. Still won the game, though, on overpass. We'll see if Flipside can essentially close this round out without losing any players. That would be amazing in this position to really get that money going. HellRaisers in this horrible spot where they just have to more or less take insane risks. They don't have the utility to safely clear everything. They don't have the players to do so either. Just have to pick some spots and just go for it and hope for the best. They will split up as well. Trying to take some 1v1s. Nice shot there from Zero. Finds Blade. Still 4 to go and 20 seconds to plant. They've got to get their skates on.
I think Angel may have just about been spotted with the bomb on long. I think there was a shoulder peek which gave enough information. Waylander staying in short B. I know he's going for the flank now with 6 seconds remaining. 4, 3. The bomb cannot get planted, so what do? The flank is coming, they're running away. Will it be the 2-man spray down? Zero forced to hide in the smoke, but even that won't be enough. HellRaisers off to a really bad start here on overpass.
Oh, God. 2 players dying after time. That hurts, man. That really hurts.
On the plus side, they're at maximum loss bonus, so they can still muster something in the coming round. Pistols being purchased by the HellRaisers side, and Bondik is AK-47 and full armor, which leaves him with about 2,600. I do wonder though, so Bondik had extra money, right, which he spent, but Angel's got $600 because he lost by timeout, so I mean, he'll get, what, $3,400, still have $4,000-ish? Well, yeah, $4,000. So he can still buy an AK next round regardless, so why not? Why not? They could have more grenades though, assuming they don't get a bomb plant in this round. If he drops to his teammate next round rather than buys in this one.
Markelov is dealing justice to the HellRaisers players at the moment. And it's not really a way in so far for HellRaisers. Looking to get something done with the Deagles. Those long-range picks can be possible with such a gun, but HellRaisers aren't able to find that way in. Flipside are playing it appropriately, taking the passive angles, playing these setups and with each other on the bomb sites. There's no need to take map control. There's no need to push. Sit back, use your utility, use your men, and you will be fine. Another attempt here from Angel. And Angel has great pistol work, generally speaking. In particular, the CZ
on the CT side. Always seems to astound me how good he is with that. Right now, it's quite a... It's always painful to watch, James. They're grasping at straws in this round.
It's laboured, yeah. This is like, well, this is like hard labour. Sentenced to hard labour, trying to dig with 30 seconds left. Oh, hello. Is there a chance for a bomb plant here? Blade is somewhat isolated around this pillar. He needs to get at least one more kill. Not going to get it if Angel finally gets there. Oh, hello. Again from Angel. 12 seconds, though. He's got to plant the bomb, but it's exposed. It needs to be collected. Angel, 7 seconds. Oh my God.
Surely not. He doesn't get the bomb down. This is what an awkward situation for Angel. Just kind of casually reloading in the open, and then be like, oh well, 7 seconds, better plant this bomb. Oh well, I can't take this frag. Oh, now there's not enough time left. Very, very weird situation. And again, after how painstaking it was to be in this 2 or 3 versus 5, and there's just nothing. You just can't get anything, and the CCs are playing so passive on the bomb site to actually get that to a situation where it's a 1v1. That is quite absurd.
That's super awkward for Angel, because again he started the previous round with $600, and like he's lost 2 rounds by timeout, which really sucks. So not an ideal situation for him. He's down to the CZ for this round. The fabled CZ, Dan, he does not even have a helmet. A push coming in through the monster area, going all the way at Flipside at the moment. Waylander trying to get another kill, but he can't quite do it. However, Bondic will be finished off by Markelov's grenade. And there's more Markelov for you, Anders. 4 versus 1. Stiko, isn't he like Guardian's best mate?
Yeah, he's Guardian definitely has tried to help bring him up as a player. And we did an interview with Stiko, again, a couple of years ago when he was coming up, and one, to find out how his name was pronounced, but also just to find out a bit more about him. And he seemed to be, back then, a very motivated player, someone that was very, very involved with the team and would always be the team player. Like, if there's a role that needs to be played by the team and he doesn't play it, he'll happily try to learn how to do that role. He'll spend a huge amount of time doing it, no matter which role it is, so he can fit that gap in the team. And to not only become a better player, but to obviously be able to support the team he's playing for in the best way that he can. Not a selfish player by any means. I think someone that is certainly good to play with. So that is going to be a benefit for HellRaisers. And yeah, it's an interesting situation here, because HellRaisers not really looking amazing on the money really at all so far in this first half. Ooh, we went under the water there, James.
Oh, look at that.
I don't know. I've never been under the water
I was
before.
a baby shark. And there we go. 8 rounds for Flipside. A very solid CT half so far, and it has to be unexpected, a scoreline like this. HellRaisers on a buy between the buys, a bunch of pistols, some grenades here and there. 2 AKs, a pair of AKs, twins, a duo of AKs. Electronic, he senses grenades, he sees grenades towards long, and there will be no peek from him. He'll back off. Try to waste some time with HellRaisers. Lots of rounds have gone sub 30 seconds, so it seems Flipside are comfortable in those situations when it's HellRaisers pressured for time. Dead Fox has found difficulty so far, AWPing on the T side. I think he's got 1 kill at present. Well did it. Having a good time at the moment. 6 kills for him. 1 minute mark. HellRaisers facing long, but they don't really have the best tools for the job at that range.
Yeah, honestly, money has been such a huge issue for them in this first half so far. Their economic decisions and the positions they've been put in. Oh, so many targets to choose, but Mr. Weldon, you'll miss one eventually, and the bomb will go down somehow. And the chaos and the madness in the Bedlam. That is this a bomb site currently, but all the players will be cleaned out eventually, and we'll get a defuse here from Flipside for the 9 rounds to the 1 of HellRaisers. And again, you can know that Angel, one of the few players on the T side that will equip the CZ over the Tech 9. Very hard choice to make. I love the CZ, and even I do not dare do that. The rush potential off the Tech 9 is just so powerful on the T side. But that's what he goes for. Overall, a pretty good defense here. I don't think that Flipside care too much about giving away a bomb plant.
I feel like the original Deus Ex, Daedalus' name should have been rolled edit.
Yeah, that game was absolutely amazing. But look at the dangerous game that Electronic's playing. We saw previously he got a 2K out of this position. In fact, they, I think, eventually got 3 kills in total off the back of this forward play from Electronic. They have a different setup this time. Previously, we saw Marklov on the long position. Right now, it's only Well that is supporting him. Oh, I saw that hitting, but it didn't quite connect. Just kind of baiting them to try to move forwards. After he misses the shot, you think, oh, I can just move forwards. But then they would move into Electronic. So let's see if that's to be the case. Well, not even required.
Blade was holding down to the connector area, but it's been given up to the T's, who will get absolutely wrecked by guns, by fire, by all kinds of stuff. And I was going to say, you know, with control of connector, it would allow Zero to move into a short B with some cover, but that has been abandoned now. Disaster has struck. 9-1. It's been an earthquake, and all that's left through the rubble is Dead Fox and Zero. Dead Fox with 1 kill on this AWP. It really has not been working for him in this T half. So with the numbers down, with the chips down, how is it going to work for him now?
Oh man, that's some information. Spots the location one player. Nice flash work though to get some info. I'm not sure if Blade actually spotted anything. We'll see from the rotation. I think he did, because we'll see a rotation here from the CTs. We'll see both Waylander and Marklov making their way through to connector. Ooh. There is the first pickoff. Waylander, he's found the bomb. Oh, Dead Fox jumping down the stairs, finds himself the return kill, but his back will be fully exposed. And Marklov will take him down with ease.
That dirty smile at Marklov. He's like, yes.
Smug.
Very happy with himself. 10-1. Marklov loving life at the moment. 12 kills for him, almost leading the charge, but Electronic is doing so with 13. HellRaisers not really having much success in any regard at present. Only 4 rounds that they can win at this point. 10-5 is the best they can ask for. They might have thought that they had this in the bag, but the bag has holes and the shopping is all over the street, Dan. It's being raided by the passers-by.
Well, it's a hard comeback, isn't it? But we've seen so many of them of late, so many comebacks from these crazy scorelines. And I would say that Flipside's CT side, it would have been what I was wondering about the most against HellRaisers. I know HellRaisers have a strong CT side as well, so it's not too late for HellRaisers. But you do really need those 3 rounds just to give yourself some security, something to work with if you lose the pistol. Again, it's another round where we just see... I feel like we never see a full buy out of HellRaisers right now. We've got a UMP 2 Galils, saw lack of grenades, and they're changing the pace here, going towards A-Long quite quickly. Electronics should be able to spot some of this. And Flipside, we can note that they've been changing their CT setup quite continuously here as well, which is always hard to deal with.
I think the issue for HellRaisers at this point is they can't afford to lose any more rounds, so they have to force buy rather than go for that half buy with pistols. I mean, they've been in max loss bonus since day. So normally they would have full buys in the next round. But at this point, they don't want to be 11-1 down. They don't want 11-4 to be the best that they can hope for. They want and need and must have all the remaining rounds. Where are the CTs? That's the question. Waylander spotted towards Optimus, and Electronic will offer support while Waylander runs distraction. 2 kills for him. Only 1 in response from HellRaisers. 1 versus 4 for Angel, wondering what on earth is going on. And he'll be sent to the heavens as well. 11-1. The worst has happened for HellRaisers.
And it's the problem, isn't it? Like, when you don't have any utility, Flipside are active enough, they're playing their CT side well enough to know, okay, Electronics saw a bunch of players towards A-Long early into the round. We have the ability to make a flash play, get some information towards sewers, and see what's happening there. Oh, there's nobody there. And then from there, they can start to deduce what's going on. Then they have a fast rotation time through to the flank. They can hold the flank if they want. They can send an extra player from B to A to reinforce it against the push. Flipside are just able to do so much because HellRaisers don't have the utility to really play out a proper round of T overpass. And I feel as though this entire first half is really being characterized by that very fact.
3-man on road in connector for the T side. Pistols are out again. No choice but to wait for the full buy next round. Well, did it repositioning? There are some... actually, Mixwell is a nice AWPer to watch around that area in terms of the places he posts up. Something for you at home to watch and learn from. But well, he's going to get absolutely ruined by the CZ of Angel. But is this just a consolation round if it's successful for HellRaisers? It's a 5 versus 3 at present, but not everybody has Kevlar in this round. AWB collected by Stiko. Marklov, he is in a crossfire. He's got problems. We've seen good flashes from Flipside so far, but do they have them for this retake?
Oh, almost a 2K there from Markloff and Waylander. He was coming in for the back here. We see him finally making his way onto the site, but caught by Stiko. Blade will be tossed down the stairs by Bondig. And a round from HellRaisers. And sure, I think, you're going to get some, one of those rounds every so often where, you rush in with the pistols. Flipside can be, fine with that. You're going to concede those. But for HellRaisers to only have that work for them so late into this first half, obviously there's problems there. I feel like this might be the first big buy we've actually seen. I think this is the first full buy, right? Just the fullest of buys?
I don't think so. I mean, they should have been, their half buys should have been enough that the 3,400 gives them the full buy in the following round. But anyway, we'll see what they can do with it. Well done, it had $16,000 at the beginning of this round. He was losing money by winning rounds. A great start from the man himself, Well done it. Or the barrel of the gun spotted by Electronic, but he's got other work to do. Smartly backing off. He could stand and fight forever, but that doesn't really necessarily give them an advantage. They've got the man advantage. They can back off. You see Blade will stay forwards. And HellRaisers, they might expect the CTs to run away at this point. Oh, look at the cover. Look at the organization. Will it yield results? Will it bear fruits? That's what I'm looking for, Dan. Fruits!
Oh, it could be the juiciest of fruit. Look at that, the double there from Blade. Oh man, that is such a cool setup there. And we can talk about how HellRaisers are in so much trouble when Flipside, when they do have a big buy, are just playing like a pretty good aggressive setup. And they seem to be consistently getting these frags. And you can see how effective this is because HellRaisers are forced to these crazy situations. They would have had a game plan at the start of the round, but as soon as that happens, all your players are left trying to decide, okay, what do we do now? What do we actually do? What's the game plan? And the CTs are still pressuring you. They're still in forward positions. It's a lot to deal with, and some teams find difficulty in dealing with those situations.
Damn, look at that warning shot. Where are you going, Monsieur Zero? Not on top of 1 versus 1, but success will be brief. Failure will be all too familiar for the HellRaisers side. 2-12. And their money has been reset. For the most part, they can buy, however, in this last round of the first half. But Stiko and Zero are broke. However, a gun will be extended to Zero very politely by his teammates. Nice.
Yeah, Stiko's the man on the Tech 9. So I wonder if we'll see him sort of trying to open things up a bit for his team, get some space, be the guy to jump through the smoke maybe, be the first man around a corner to try to draw a fire for his teammates with the AKs. We'll see if that happens. Right now, HellRaisers is trying to get some initial map control. And I like how active Flipside have been. They've really had a mixed bag of CT setups. Aggressive, sort of, medium between aggressive and being passive, and then falling back after you get some contact, and just keeping the questions there for HellRaisers and forcing them to use utility. This is a more passive approach from Flipside. We'll see whether or not HellRaisers get into this spot where they can actually run the set piece, because I think that's what they're going for here. But it looks like World spotted it, and the rotation's coming for the CTs.
3 guys on long. The Molotov may come too late to stop the T's from pushing, but Electronic will do the job. Well, they're delivering kills with the sniper as well. Angel with the 1 frag, but again, it seems to be, well, it was all Flipside, but how things have turned around. It's 1 versus 2 now. Waylander, he was a hot property when he appeared on the scene. Spotted the bomb planter. There's a jumping peak from Angel with 4 HP. Bondik will give HellRaisers a 50% increase in their rounds to 3 to the 12 of Flipside.
Well, I did say earlier that they need to at minimum get 3. At least they've done that. But of course, so much weighs on that pistol round. And so we shall see how that will go for HellRaisers. And one thing to look out for is Angel's CZ action. I'm always looking out for that every time I cast his games.
Look at that flowing hair, Dan. Look at that flowing hair. That is herbal essences all day, man. A woman, rather. Excuse me. Please, I apologize for interrupting your thought, but...
No, I was just going to say that Angel always seems to do crazy things with the CZ, so I look for that. We'll see, though, whether he gets an opportunity, because we start off with the pistol, and he'll start off with the USP. Going very aggressive into connector, whilst the rest of Flipside are trying to push around the toilets area. Players all over the place at the moment here. Mixed success here for Flipside. So we'll see another frag traded backwards and forwards. Just both teams vying for this connector position. Now it's 2-on-2.
It's just aiming headshots, man.
I know, right?
It is aim. It's Team DM right now. It's CSDM. Join the server. Zero left on its own. P2000. Don't see it every day. And the worst has happened for Flipside. The birds will chirp at the end of the round.
Diane.
As they are Flipside supporters. Birds wearing very small indeed, Flipside jerseys. The 4 Spy from HellRaisers, 4 CZs, and Steeko on the 5-7. Steeko looking for those Steekers in the major.
Oh dear.
Oh yes!
You've gone and done it, haven't you?
No one can stop me. I've got the mic.
I can't believe you've done this.
Let's go.
I cannot believe you've done this. Well, we got a collection of CZs here for the HellRaisers side. Just Steeko rocking that 5-7. They're going to try to get done what they can with this limited buy. Flipside, we should expect to see a well-versed anti-force buy from them, or at least I hope so. As we can see already, Electronic East by the, well, essentially watching a very passive position, making sure his teammates do not get flanked if there was to be a push from Monster from the B side of the map from the CTs. And Flipside will likely look to try to finish towards toilets and A long. That's the safest way to play this round. And you can see that one of the big problem spots, one of the hot zones, is that connector area. We can see that HellRaisers have 3 players around it. And why would you go here, James? Sometimes there's teams that send like a man here with an AK alone, and I'm always like, why?
Yes, we spoke about this in the first half when it was, I think it was Electronic in there on his own, and he got 2 kills. It's a dangerous place. So when that happens, like how do you respond in an area you know is dangerous to venture through when you have the buy? Flipside, their CT side was spectacular, but will they have the coordination? Will we see the let's go A, I'll fake B from Flipside now that they are on the T half? 35 seconds for them to move into this anti-force buy round. We've got some counter flashes here for the CT side. That could cause problems, but Zero, he's gone too far. He's gone too far, that.
Yeah, doesn't even get to pull the trigger on the CZ. Sad times for him. Now as the Ts will take over the bomb site. CT's all locked into the sewers area though, towards the short B position. And now we get the flank from Markelov. He's coming in. He's looking to deal all sorts of damage here. And oh dear, doesn't get anything done really, but it's got plenty of teammates to rely upon as the bomb ticks away. There's no, well, it's actually a kid onto Angel. But to say there wasn't one, but there's a pickoff from Angel with that CZ. Dangerous, ever dangerous with that gun. As he does get taken down in the end, and the CTs start to push harder onto the bomb site, but they're running out of numbers, running out of health. Just poor Steeko left. And he will meet 2 players at once here. Actually lining up somewhat, but he won't be able to do it. And that will be another round for Flipside on the defense.
Are you ready, Dan? Steeko trying to get on his Hiko and clutch the round.
That's disgusting.
No?
You disgust me.
No? Oh, okay.
Can't wait to hear more. Because I'm sure you're thinking of more.
3, well, we might not get enough opportunity, Dan, because it's 3 to 14. Do you remember when you were 14?
I do actually, yeah. Don't suffer from amnesia or anything like that. So,
what
about you?
No.
Don't have any
really.
memories?
No. It's all a haze of, well,
fair enough.
all a haze. Let's leave it there. Tactical timeout with a 11-round deficit for HellRaisers. There's only so much they can do in a situation. $2,000 per person. I mean, surely they have to go for a force buy. I mean, do they eco and play against match point for 12 rounds? That's the alternative, but maybe they think the fights will be better in that regard than it will be with mere pistols here versus what seems to be a very organized Flipside team, and indeed it will be the eco. Steeko on the eco.
There it is.
With one flashbang.
You had one more.
That one was an accident, but whatever, I'll take it.
Sure it was.
Steeko on the eco.
I believe you completely. Well, it's the first frag going Waylander's way, as we see. You know, that tends to happen with casting, you know. Sometimes you make puns by accident. So I will actually, considering I just did it myself, I'm going to give you a free pass there.
Wow, that's very
I'm going to take it back. I'm going to rescind my previous statements.
Well, before you get too excited, Dan, it seems that Steeko might be running away from the repo men of Flipside who are looking for their 50th round.
Bloody hell. Can't believe this. Well, Markov's going to find an extra player there, Angel, and obviously HellRaisers, without a kit, without any equipment, they're unlikely to do much here. They're looking for some damage, for maybe a gun pickup if they can potentially isolate a player that gets a little bit over eager. However, that's not the case. Flipside doing a pretty good job, and it is somewhat sad actually, because I feel as though HellRaisers are always interesting to watch from their CT overpass. I feel like that's their better side. I feel like I've seen a lot of entertaining rounds from them on that side in the past, but it looks almost as though we won't get to see them play a CT side unless they can do the incredible, James. The incredible, because they don't have the best equipment.
They've got rifles. They have saved enough money. They've put the cash in the piggy bank, and they've got themselves some M4s and some FAMAS weapons. Helmets vary. I don't know if anybody should be buying a helmet in this round from HellRaisers. They have no defuse kits, and they could do with more grenades. But here we are. It is 3-15. It is crunch time. It is do or die. It is fight or flight, and other things with a few syllables. That.
All right. Well, Flipside have taken some initial map control. They've got the Stewards position. They haven't really pressured towards the A side of the map just yet. But fortunately for them, HellRaisers are playing very passively towards A, so they don't actually have that information. So that does go into the favor of Flipside, although now they're starting to extend into the toilets position, so they'll have options available. They could always try to leave a player in sewers. I mean, this is something that G2 does very frequently. They'll play a default where they will get a lot of players clearing towards A. Shox will work his way in with grenades and utility towards, utility towards the Stewards position. He'll leave himself there in a really nice off angle, and his team can kind of pivot off of that very effectively. But here we see Flipside, they have one man towards B, but it is towards that monster area, looking for pushes, as we see a big push from the toilets coming in. Dead Fox spots it though, and there's 3 players here to deal with this for the CT side, as Waylander takes a bullet from Blade there. Perhaps that's some motivation, James. Do what I say, or you die.
32 seconds remain. Electronic was lurking towards B, and I did wonder if there was going to be a 2-man push around Monster, because Zero and Stiko are in that area, and they still are now as this kill comes in towards Bondic. 20 seconds left, and it seems they have not seen the bomb, HellRaisers, but they're getting the kills. 4 versus 2. A taste of your own medicine, Flipside, and medicine tastes absolutely disgusting. There goes Waylander, leaving Electronic on his lonesome, hiding in the connector area. Have to give up on this one. Only so much he can do. So it begins, Dan. It begins.
Maybe it does. We do seem to cast a lot of these combat games of late, so I don't want to.
Well, there's no comeback yet. They've only got 4 rounds.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you know, I feel as though it might be possible though, because we have had so many lately. I feel like it's always, you should always believe, James. There should always be belief, and there should always be hope. HellRaisers do have a Dead Fox on that AWP, so I'm curious what they'll try to do with this. Obviously, when you're in this situation, you can't just say, oh god, we can't afford to make a mistake, we'll just play very passively and slow, but I'm going to have to hold that forward. We have a really fast round here from Flipside, going straight through Monster, trying to catch HellRaisers off guard. It's going to work out quite effectively. A double there towards short B for Electronic. Zero is trying to awkwardly pick up a gun in the water. Won't happen. And that's the round for Flipside, I think, maybe, James, because there's only 2 players left. Dead Fox and Bondic. Can they do it?
Seen you win these, Dead Fox, but I haven't seen you survive this angle of Electronics. Playing patiently. His teammates don't need to peek. He can just hold this angle for days. Spots both of them. Oh, he runs out of bullets, but it's a 3 versus 1 end of the day.
That was
a violent end to a violent game. All Flipside. There's only one side to that match, Dan. 16-4. HellRaisers absolutely dominated, crushed on Overpass like a grape.
And for me, it was really cool to see from Flipside, just because obviously we didn't see many huge buy rounds from the T side of HellRaisers, and it was partially because when they did have the buys, Blade called aggressive setups. Presumably it was Blade, I would imagine it. Hopefully it is. Not sure with the interview.
Well, he might call it, but who knows if they listen.
Exactly, right? So, but it was obviously very detailed. You can see the routine there, and they were essentially picking the exact right rounds and executing them perfectly, and basically creating these situations where they had a 2 or 3 man advantage very early on into the round before HellRaisers could do anything. And they just picked the right rounds to do that, and HellRaisers were always then playing on the back foot. So you got to hand it to Flipside. They really had a very good read of HellRaisers. Yeah,
moving into more matches. Psychologically, that's fantastic. A great boost for the likes of Flipside. But HellRaisers, they will feel like they're going into Overpass. That's their map. And they got dominated. They got absolutely dominated by their opponents. So how do you move into the following days of matches in the right mindset, fired up?
I don't know. It's a rough one, isn't it? It's one of those results where kind of everything just goes wrong, and it's almost not worth even going too deep into analyzing it mid-tournament. Just more importantly, just get everyone on the track again so that they're in position emotionally to play their game, to be on the same page. And hopefully, no one's too mad. We'll see, I suppose. It's time for the panel, the analysts, to discuss that game. A very quick one, guys.
quick indeed. The Flipside freight train continues to crash through opponents as they go 2-0 here at the offline qualifiers. Are they destined yet again to go to their 8th consecutive major? They are certainly doing a good job so far. Let's break it down with our panel members once more. Natu and Yanko with us. Natu, we'll start with you. We asked the question, were they sure they could take on HellRaisers on Overpass? They just gave us a brilliant answer to it.
Yeah, I mean, if they had issues being dialed in on train yesterday, today on Overpass, the way they were playing aggressive on City side, they were just stopping HR in the tracks, pushing all the way to the Fountain birthday party in Connector, and doing it at the right times as well. HR just didn't seem to really have the answer, even though they tried to go through multiple different kind of pacing, through Connector and through the stairs towards Fountain, and try to kind of sandwich that aggressiveness. Still didn't work out at all. So, yeah, I mean, kudos to Flipside. Just they were just lights out playing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how it looks like when, you know, everyone is on point and when every idea that you have basically works. You could see that HellRaisers even won the pistol round to open up the game, but immediately reset in the second round. And you could see how Electronic, who was in that connector area, was constantly being flashed in by his teammates who were further back towards A, and there was even a pop flash for Connector through the small window from his teammate in B. So there's a clear idea of, okay, we forced, but we know what we want to do. And he got 2 kills there. You know, it was the highlight of that round. And that happened multiple times in rounds. The aggression that they've had, then it forces HellRaisers to use more utility in their default, but Flipside in turn plays passive. They fall back to the side. And then HellRaisers has to go into the site without almost any smokes or flashes, which obviously makes the defense easier as well.
Yeah, time ran out a couple times on them as well, right? So, I mean, it's just like it's uncomfortable territory for them when they have to play with that little time because the Seeds are playing so aggressive.
Yeah, and likewise, when they switched around, I mean, they had a great first half, sort of set themselves up nicely for the second, but they weren't letting HellRaisers rest at all, were they? They were just like, nope, straight in. That last Monster Rush, for instance, same thing. Push through there, they get Electronic, gets 2 picks on the side. That just doesn't allow HellRaiser to settle at all, even when they switch to the CT side. Yeah,
I think with that pistol round pretty much was, I mean, pistol round and converting the second round was where you could imagine that it's game over for HellRaisers. Even if they start winning some gun rounds consecutively, start mounting a comeback, you think that after what we saw, what we've seen in the first half from Flipside and the preparation, that was fairly obvious. You would think that, you know, they have what it takes to at least win 1 or 2 gun rounds, no matter what, even on the T side.
Definitely made themselves easy on that second half. Man of the match, MVP Electronic this time around, 26 for 9, 127.4 ADR. Amongst the best numbers that we've seen today.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the guys who plays playing aggressive on that A-bomb side a lot of the time. Well, not even an A-bomb side, almost T-spawn. Like, he was all the way to the fountain, towards the wall. But like Yanko was saying, it was a lot of system there, the thought-out kind of aggressiveness. So it wasn't just something they were throwing at it.
It's also exactly the player that Flipside was missing for a very long while. You know, ever since the Simple era, right? Yep. Simple goes. Couldn't really mesh with the team well, but they lose a lot of firepower. Then it was Davkost and Shara. These guys didn't really have that amount of firepower that Flipside needed because the structure was always there with Blade, the game plan was always there, but sometimes they would just get outmatched by the individuals of the opposing team. And now with Electronic, it seems like he is that guy, similar to what Tabsen does for Big. Sure, he's being put in a position to succeed, but he is delivering multiple times over.
Yeah. In terms of HellRaisers, I mean, it's a very, very disappointing game, but I guess
move along. The train goes on. I mean, the tournament is still up. You can't start dwelling on that kind of a result. I mean,
we shouldn't forget they're not down and out. They are 1-1 right now, which is that's mid-tier now for round 3. So still more to come from them. Let's catch up with Blade now, in-game leader for Flipside, who is in the player area. Congrats, Blade. That was much better from you guys. Much more methodical. I guess probably much more like you wanted it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Today we were feeling really confident. Also, this map is much more prepared than D-Train. D-Train is like less prepared than all other maps. And we felt really confident, and we didn't have those shaky situations like yesterday. And also, we spoke before the game like, guys, this is very important. Like, let's not do yesterday mistakes, and it worked.
Yeah, it absolutely did. You're now 2 games out of 2, and obviously that means you need 1 more win out of the last 3. takes a bit of pressure off you, obviously, as well. In terms of HellRaisers, did you look at them and think they probably want to play us on Overpass? Was that why it led that way?
Well, it was their pick. They picked Overpass over Mirage. I think they were really confident before the match, but we kind of outplayed, in my opinion, we outplayed them on city side.
I don't think there's any doubt in that at all.
I mean, tactically, we built our rounds round by round strategically to seed some specific idea in their heads, how to move and so on and so on. It worked perfectly for us.
You said in an interview that we recorded with you that 6 months ago when you had Electronic in the team, it was kind of new still. He'd only been playing with you a couple of months. You were still adjusting to him. He was still adjusting to you. 6 months on now, how is the relationship with him?
Well, it's pretty good. We had some problems with the results, and he was disappointed. Because he's young blood and he always wants to win and so on and so on. So it was more psychological conversation all the time. Relax. It's all you need to is to wait, some patience. We need to practice, and it worked. Practice was really successful for us. Productive.
Good to hear. And I've got Janko and Natu here. Have you got any questions of Blade?
Yeah, and a little bit answered there, but I was just thinking that aggression, which was very planned from your side, was that something very specific just against HR, or is that something we can expect from you guys later on if you play Overpass as well?
It's always about map and about opponent. We always study the map and opponent, and we trying to analyze what should we do, first round, next round. What will be the most effective round? Not only killing all teammates, but also to start them hesitate in next rounds.
Yeah.
So it's always different. The game approach will be different for each opponent. But of course, if this will be necessary, we will do in next matches.
Okay.
I think you guys covered it pretty much. I don't have a proper question to ask. I mean, everything just seemed so very much on point for you guys in terms of communication. I can imagine, because you could tell even in that second round after you lost Pistol, how Electronic from the connector area, he was getting pop flashed in all the time. That everything was as you planned it to be.
Yeah, we knew that they will do either this round or next or another one. When we realized that it's specifically this round, we immediately pop flash, and he killed them.
It's good stuff. We'll say congratulations to you, Blade. Let you take some rest and come back tomorrow. And just one more win away from an 8th major in a row.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
Well, happy. Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thanks, Blade. Flipside then are 2-0. They just love these qualifiers, don't they?
They're like the final boss of the qualifiers.
They are. You just look at the teams, and every time they come in, we kind of go, well, they haven't really played much, haven't really done many LANs, pulled out lots of online leagues, can't really see them being in form, probably won't go to the major. Completely wrong.
Yeah,
completely wrong. Every time.
Of course.
I think, if anything, we should probably be less surprised now. Not as much because of their performance in previous qualifiers, but because we haven't seen them for a very long time. Why we doubted Flipside previously was because they had officials and they had tournaments leading up to the qualifier, and it wasn't impressive, to say the least. But still, at the actual qualifier, they would always somehow rally and deliver a great performance. And this is the reason why, there are Flipside fans, why I love watching Flipside when they play really well, because what Blade was talking about, planting seeds in your opponents and baiting them to do things, and you were always one step ahead of them because there's a reason of why you're doing things, even on the CT side. Doesn't apply only to the CT side, and that's where you see how beautiful CS can be and how you can just dominate your opponents by outsmarting them pretty much.
It's a great way to end the segment as well. A beautiful performance from Flipside yet again in the qualifiers. They go to 2-0, and we'll see tomorrow whether they can get through and make it to the major yet again. We're headed to a break. Still got 2 more games to go though, so don't go too far away.
Coming up next, G2 versus Cloud9.